My grandmother always told me, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Today, I'm going to do a persuasive speech explaining why people do not need to date in their 20s. It's just, we're so young. Young people, we're in our 20s. We're still finding ourselves. We're still trying to love ourselves. How can we, quote unquote, love another person? It's just not possible right now. And plus, I feel that at this age, we're 20, 21, 22. Our lives are just starting. We should really find out what we like, what we don't like. And I feel that when you have somebody who's dependent on you to treat them a certain way, sometimes you're going to be selfish and you're going to go what you want to do and how you want to act, and you're not going to think about anything. My first thing is really to love yourself. I feel that in this day and age, everybody's so bent on having a relationship, like relationship goals. And really, that shouldn't be nobody's focus. Some of us still depend on our parents. We need to figure out what we're doing after graduation and how you're going to be relationship goals sleeping on the sofa. Like, be honest. And people just don't love themselves enough. They don't love themselves. And that's why all the relationships that you see in social media with these rappers and entertainers, they end so quickly because nobody has really took time to self-reflect on why they act a certain way and how to love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, then nobody else is going to. And if you don't know what makes you happy, then nobody is ever going to fulfill that need and that want of being happy, and it's just not going to happen. And you really have to be comfortable with yourself. Like, you have to be comfortable with who you are as a woman, as a man, because if not, you're going to bring all this toxic energy into another person. And that person probably didn't have any problems before you, but just because you aren't man enough or woman enough to realize, look, I need to focus on myself, I need to work on myself, then you're just pouring all this vinegar and bits into somebody who was a good person before you. And you're just going to ruin somebody else. And also, in this day and age, men, women, whoever, they don't know their worth. They don't know their worth. And you can tell by the way somebody doesn't know their worth is because of how they're being treated by another person or how they're letting somebody treat them. Some people are only going to treat you the way that you're allowed to be treated. And people will take advantage of a pure heart. Especially speaking from a woman's standpoint, men will see that you're a great person and they will find a way to dig their little claws into you and really take advantage of that. And the same and vice versa. I've seen women, mess with a guy and they know that he's a good person, that he has a great heart, and they're going to take advantage of that because that's an easy target for them. And they do that because they're not secure with who they are as a person, and they just want to impose and just mess you up. And that can really mess people up for years and years, just because for some people it's not as deep as what people say. We need to focus on, in our 20s, being good people to others before we just start talking about love and love, because we don't even know what that means. Like, unconditional love, as Lauryn Hill said, we don't even know what it means, because as soon as somebody stops stimulating us or stop loving us, then they can't do anything for us and we stop loving them. And that's not what unconditional means. Unconditional love means you love that person regardless. You love that person on their worst days, on their good days, bad days. It doesn't matter. You love them unconditionally. And nobody in this generation understands that or can really comprehend what that truly and deeply means. They just don't do it. And also, I think knowing your worth is knowing that men and women, they cheat on their spouses every day. It's not, oh, I need to put myself in a position that I'm going to cook and clean and wash, and for the guy in a typical society where, oh, I'm going to work and I'm going to provide for her, etc., etc. That's not true. It's not true at all, because you can provide, give your left leg to somebody. You can wash and clean and be a little maid, and somebody will still take advantage of you. Somebody will still cheat on you or disrespect your relationship. It has nothing to do with what you do to a person. Like, when you're in a bad situation, it's not what you have done, it's how they act and how things are going in their life. It doesn't reflect bad on the person that is being wrong to. It reflects bad on the person that allowed this to happen. Also, we're just, I'm keep saying this, like, we're so young, and I truly and honestly feel that sometimes the person that we're talking to or entertaining, that might not be the person that we're supposed to be with. It might not be the person that we're going to spend our whole lives with. And I know there's situations and relationships that they're college sweethearts, and my parents were college sweethearts, and it turned out years down the line that it just didn't work. Not saying that it doesn't work for people that are college sweethearts, but I don't think that should be the goal. Oh, we're college sweethearts, so it's going to work. Sometimes things doesn't work. And honestly, the sad part about dating is either you're going to get married or you're going to break up. There's really no in between at this point. And I think it's okay. Like, it's okay to figure out what you like, what you don't like. And I think that is a great tool to see what you want to do. But the problem with dating and all these serious relationships so young is we don't know what we want in person because we don't know what we want in ourselves. And that goes back to myself of loving yourself and knowing your worth. And also, in this day and age of social media, it's awful today. It's literally awful because nobody courts. Nobody court dating. Like back in the day, you had to ask permission from the dad. Can you take his daughter out? Nowadays, guys just send you a DM and you just go running. Or girls just shoot their shot on social media, on Twitter, and then that's it. You guys are a couple. And the reason that none of those relationships work is because we have lost our morals. And it's completely unacceptable. According to Taraji B. Henson did an interview on Wendy Williams a couple years ago, and it's always stuck with me. She was like, and she's 40 or whatever, she was like, men don't court at all. You know, pick a woman up at a certain time. Tell her, you know, I want to see you, and, you know, space out time. Your first date shouldn't be spontaneous. Oh, let's just go to Chipotle. That's not a first date. You know, space out time to make it look like you actually care. You actually care. You actually put time into this. And I think coming from a woman's standpoint, we just allow anything because we just think that's all that is out there. And that's completely not true. There's somebody for everybody out here. The right person is definitely going to come. But until then, we have to focus on ourselves and really, really just love ourselves and really have to focus on not letting anybody just disrespect us and disrespect us to a point that they think that they can just treat us any old type of way. And the whole thing of everybody in college, we're all in college, we're all struggling. The whole thing of everybody in college saying, oh, well, I don't have to take her out or take him out because we're in college, we're struggling, and I don't have money. But you have money to smoke weed. You have money to hang out with your boys. You have money to bet on basketball games. That sounds like your priorities are not in check. And if I'm not a priority moving forward, then that means that we don't need to converse anything. I don't need to give you a gift, which is sex. You know, sex is not in exchange for a relationship. You don't have to sleep with somebody to be declared a relationship. You don't have to give somebody something so you can get something back. And I think as humans, we're all flawed in that aspect. We think that we have to treat somebody a certain way or only be nice to somebody so that they can treat us nice back. And it's like you only have to do something for somebody because you think that you are going to get something back, and that's not the case. You should just be a good person to be a good person. You shouldn't just be nice to me because you want some sex, or you shouldn't be nice to him because you want, you know, oral sex, or whatever the case may be. That's not fair. You should never treat anybody with so little respect and so little just decency, not only for him but for you and for yourself. I just think that it's absolutely disgusting that people act like that and people treat other people like that. And also, we're in this age that everybody's playing with everybody's emotions, and monogamy is starting to be a thing of the past, and people are looking up to situations like Cardi B and Offset and all of their dysfunctional things that's going on. People look up to Future treating women disposably and not treating women with any type of respect, but we fly into his concerts and we sell out arenas for him, and he's on his baby mama and treats his baby mothers and the women he's been intimate with like absolute trash, just disposable. And I think nobody in this generation, I'm not gonna say nobody because that's biased. I think so many people in our generation are just brainwashed. They're brainwashed by social media. And if I post you, oh, we're dating. And then if I don't post you, oh, you're just my side chick or whatever. Why does posting on social media need to be a declaration of a relationship? You don't have to post anybody on your social media. If you want to date them, fine. If you don't, then don't. I just think that it's absolutely ridiculous that in this day and age, dating has succumbed to this whole social media, and we're only going to post each other if we're on a date, and then if we didn't post each other, then it didn't happen. People don't need to validate themselves through social media, through a relationship. And women and men need to be smart that you don't need to be validated through a like or somebody posting you or not posting you. We have to be secure in ourselves to know that you don't need validation through a relationship at all. You need validation through yourself, and to love yourself and cherish yourself. And when you do that, work through your 20s and be happy and travel and stack money and financial literacy, then that's when the blessings of a beautiful relationship is going to happen. Now, if you're out living your best life and you're sleeping with everybody protectively, then that's fine. Then you can do that. However, the whole dating and relationships and we want to get married type things, I think in your 20s you should just really focus on yourself and really focus on being the best you that you can, because your 20s, you're only going to be in your 20s for 10 years, and this is probably should be the best time in our lives that we have the least responsibilities, and it would just be a pity to waste it on somebody who is just looking for a one-sided, unfulfilling relationship. So in conclusion, I hope that you guys enjoy my persuasive speech on why dating in your 20s can wait. You know, when you're getting your life together, there's nothing that can stop you and slow you down. And I also think that in your 20s, you just shouldn't be tied down to somebody in a one-sided, unfulfilling relationship. I think all of us just need to love ourselves and focus on ourselves and cherish ourselves. Thank you.